Alright, so what are we doing? We're gonna play a recording with Lynn. These people don't give their names. They say it's APS. That makes it difficult to turn them in. We're gonna break down how incredibly stupid this woman wanted to play. Also, we're gonna make sure that we record it properly next time. I recorded it on YouTube, but apparently at some point it died. So, let's play this from Lynn. By the way, this isn't the only Lynn. There was a Lynn in Colorado, too. So Lynn's number is 503-831-2524 from Northwest Senior and Disability Services. We're going to play this recording for you because, well, it's pretty fucking important. And we'll be pausing it periodically to break it down for you. God, my back is fucking killing me. I did way too much goddamn walking yesterday. And I have no coffee. Sorry, I'm having to move a bunch of stuff. It's not the best of conditions, and I have to try to make small so people can do what they need to with their stuff. So I'm not getting in the way of anybody. Unfortunately, that makes it difficult to go through all this evidence, and there is so much of it. This lady plays as stupid as possible and bullies as much as possible. Well, not as much as possible. I called back to turn her in and to get a phone number to turn her in. The police do not get to act with impunity. It is not okay the way they've treated me, or the racist shitheads treated me, the way that 911 has treated me. When police do wrong shit, you can't allow them to have access to their victim again and again and again and again. That's not acceptable. This lady ain't gonna hear it though, is she? This is actually the first callback that I've gotten. Now we're gonna start off with, she says that she talked to me a couple of weeks ago. Except, I need a call back from actual adult protective services, not some lady who's gonna play some BS. She literally talks over everything that I say. Disrespects me at every corner. Treats me like I'm a liar. What did I get my disability for? Back injuries. Now, of course, this lady doesn't want to look at any of my medical stuff. None of the people there did. What they wanted me to do is start over again. What does that allow them to do? That allows them to try to change my diagnoses, which is what they've been trying to do. No, you don't get to change my diagnoses. Whether or not I'm being abused should be based on the evidence of that abuse. Not off of whatever you can get some cockamamie motherfucker to say for you because you're a cop. It's bullshit. You do not have the right or the credentials to diagnose any of this shit as a police officer.
I talked to you 2 weeks ago, so I know that I...
2 weeks ago, she gave me a call back. Now we're going to find out here that she's from Northwest Senior and Disability Services, not Adult Protective Services. She's also going to try pretending I don't have any physical disabilities, despite the fact that they're well documented. Of course, that's not what the police are doing, is it? The police want it to be documented some way else. That's why they have what's called rubber stamps. This is why you always go to your own doctors first. And this is why you save that evidence, because when they try to have you diagnosed with something else, you go, hold on a second, son. No, you do not get to do that to a human being. You could hear this lady here telling me that she talked to me a couple of weeks ago. Well, she very well may have. That doesn't mean that she called me back as an APS worker. It doesn't mean that she gave me her name. And as far as the number that she called, I don't recognize it. It's the first time it's ever been called to this phone, it looks like. So who would I talk to her with before? And how would I know that it's her or not? And with all of these different services saying that literally nothing is their job, I've already called all of them. But the matter of a call back, take the situation seriously and do her job? No, she still didn't do that. She still made excuses.
I've talked to you. I called you back in the past.
That would have been me calling you guys. I'm still taking the abuse. I'm still taking the harassment. I'm still taking the threats. I still don't have a safe environment, and I can't safely go to the police. I've tried it. I've got a lot of evidence. I've also got a lot of witnesses, but those witnesses, the police have not bothered to talk to. They don't bother to get any of the information. They just talk over me. Now, I've been assaulted since I've been in this town. I've been assaulted probably close to 60 times, if not more. My vehicle has been assaulted at least 100 times. I mean, I record these things, but the police, they don't care. They dismiss it. They talk over me, or they insist that I jump through a bunch of hoops that I'm obviously incapable of. I don't have any money. I'm a disabled person. I've gone in repeatedly to Northwest Senior and Disability Services and TFCC because that's where the police keep trying to pawn me off because they don't want to do their jobs. They tell me that I got to go to TFCC and TCCHC and all these other places, and I've been to all of them for like 18 months. I've been jumping around in these circles. They keep changing the subject to housing, and the thing is that when you're abused, you don't have to jump through a bunch of housing stuff. You don't have to become an Oregon resident in order to turn in crimes, and it's not legal to make me do those things either. But I've been forced to do those things, and still cops won't do their jobs. The people at
let me ask you a question before we go into a lot of the details.
She's gonna do anytime that I talk about the police, she's gonna want to interrupt me, and she gets really long-winded with it. Let me ask you this, let me ask you that, and she's gonna start talking in circles. She's gonna start talking in circles. Every time I talk about the police, she's gonna start talking in circles. And then talking in circles. This is gaslighting. This is illegal as fuck. What she does in this entire thing here is illegal as fuck. She should be listening to the victim tell their story, not going out of her way to repeatedly interrupt the victim. Because that's what makes it into a situation where she's confused and doesn't know what's going on, but she doesn't want to know what's going on. She doesn't want to do her job. Like Megan Misgates pointed out, they kind of sort of listened until they realized there was cops involved. Once you start telling on cops, everybody closes their ears, but it's illegal for them to do so. If you are raped by a cop, it's still rape. If you are assaulted by a cop, it's still assault. If you are slandered with the intent of harming you in court and in real life, you still committed the crime. When I first went to Northwest Senior and Disability Services, what did they want to do? They didn't want to hear my story, that's for sure, just like this lady here. Her questions are more important than my story. She has questions that she believes make it okay that she doesn't do her job. And that's what she's going to jump to every single time here. Every single one of these people do this. From 911 to 988 to 211. It's disgusting.
In the past, it has been determined that you don't have any physical disability diagnoses.
I do. And that's the thing right there. I went into their office and told them that I have those diagnoses. I went in there with my paperwork, a whole vehicle full of paperwork. They refused to look at them and said that they're going to have me re-diagnosed. And that's the whole problem here. As a disabled person, I'm only disabled what? That's what I got my disability money for. These are exactly the kind of felonies that these people, our government workers, commit when they are not monitored, when there is no civilian oversight. Now, did I not tell you this is what they were going to try to do? That this is what they were going out of their way to do. And now that they have done so, what now? I told you they committed felonies. I told you they were trying to get it changed over so that instead of physical disabilities, which is what I got my disability for, and through all of this, they've called me mentally ill to deprive me of my rights as a disabled person. But I got disability because of physical disabilities, not mental. And I told you the state of Oregon, that these people here, all of these different services, that they're trying to get it changed over, trying to have it with the mental things so that they can refuse to do their jobs. And that is also not okay. She's getting irate. Start talking over me and accusing me of yelling. Now I should have started yelling at her.
I'm not yelling, absolutely.
Supervisor. Now she doesn't give her name.
I do have diagnoses, and I did go down to that office with the paperwork to show them, and they refused to look.
He's literally interrupting every single word that I'm saying with it. It's not your turn to talk, you sexist whore. And that is what it is. She's not doing her job, but she sure is still taking the money. Someone's getting fucked. You don't like those words? You know, at least I use them in the right context. Goods or services. I'm capable of being disrespectful too, and what she's doing there is going out of her way to antagonize the situation. She knows 100% what she's doing. Your wife knows what she's doing when she does that too. So does your mom, so does your sister. So does your brother, so does your dad. Just because women do it more prevalent doesn't mean that it's a women only trait. But you also get to see why it's not okay for men to have good services run by women.
If we can have a conversation where I can ask you questions and you can speak, and I can ask you questions and you can speak, then we can do that. I'm not going to have you talking over me.
See, she's not going to hear my story. She's just going to talk over me. And then she's going to get narcissistic as all hell and make it me talking over her. No, 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 no. When somebody's being victimized, you need to shut up and hear their story. You need to know what they're going through. When they are bringing up a safety issue with the police, you do have to address it. You do not get to punk the victim. And that's what she tried to do here.
Over me, and
Ma'am, you've talked over me the entire time, disrespected me, dismissed me 100% of this conversation. It shouldn't be a conversation. I am a victim. I'm trying to tell you what's going on. What you're doing is talking over me and making excuses and disrespecting me and talking down to me and making false accusations of being yelled at. What you are doing is playing victim, and you just got on the phone. What the hell is wrong with you? And then I hung up. Jesus goddamn Christ. This is why we can't go to women for help. They don't listen. We are disrespected from the very start. This woman wants to outright lie to me about the situations. Absolutely not. So what are we to do about this situation? Should we call up and ask to talk to a supervisor? Should we? Yeah, we should. So let's look up the number. Alright, well, unfortunately, I gotta make this phone call alone. I don't have anyone to make it with me.
This is Adult Protective Services. We got your voicemail yesterday.
Now, don't get me wrong. I have had more than one call back from all these places, but not to do their jobs. They want to turn everything into an argument. They talk down to me like I'm a dog. My words mean nothing. They fought hard to try to get my physical disabilities away. They fought hard to have me get harmed at the hospital, to peg me as crazy, abuse a history of, well, you get to look at the stuff they called crazy is documented. Look at Waylon Lola Tai. Look at Clearview. So what are we going to do? We're going to go to that video and we're going to explain what's going on. Let's see. It's called All American women are taught to be selfish and to lie about everything. APS fake. See, here's the thing: Northwest Senior and Disability Services, when they want to do their job as adult protective services, they just pretend they're not adult protective services, and they will have you sit there for 30 minutes of telling you everything that they don't do. They literally do absolutely nothing to help victims. I've got recorded over and over and over again all of the things that the police and all these other services claim they do. I go to these places and they give me the list of they don't do any of it. And I say, hey, can you tell the police that? Oh, no, we're not allowed. That's a violation. No, 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 no. This is very basic shit. If the police are telling us that it's Northwest Senior and Disability Services' job, Northwest Senior and Disability Services doesn't want to do it, I'm still disabled. So then they told me that because my disability wasn't here, that they couldn't do anything here. I had to become a resident here before I could turn in the crimes. So what do? Well, we call this number. Right? It's Jeff Lanneman's goddamn number. 855-503-7233. Mandatory reporters must immediately report instances of alleged elder abuse to the department, local office, or local law enforcement agency. A mandatory reporter must report if they come into contact with, have reasonable cause to believe that an older adult in any setting has suffered abuse or neglect. And with a disabled person, it's the same. We'll try that again.
You have reached Oregon's Abuse Reporting Safe Line for children and adults. Para escuchar este mensaje en español, oprima el 8. If this is an emergency requiring immediate attention, hang up and dial 911. If you're calling to report abuse of a child or for other child welfare information, press 1. If you're calling to report abuse, if you are calling to report abuse of an adult residing in a stabilization and crisis unit home or the Oregon State Hospital, press 1. If the adult is over the age of 2, zip code where the adult resides. If you do not have that information, enter your Oregon zip code so that we route your call to the local resource who can help you. Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. person you're trying to reach is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up.
Hello, Jeff, Lynn, a minute, Sean Schwartz. You guys are committing an awful lot of felonies. I gotta turn in Jay Lynn. I did record the phone call. It's not okay for Adult Protective Services to play stupid, and it's not okay that I've gone through 17 months of this. I have physical disabilities. That's what I got my disability for. And you guys trying to rubber stamp me for the local law enforcement is not acceptable. I'm still taking abuse. I'm being assaulted. That's not okay. People are breaking my windows. That's not okay. They're breaking my phones. That's not okay. Ends up not being a callback. I'm going to show you a piece of evidence here. This is literally all of our calls. They're all from today. It says 2 outgoing calls and 1 incoming call. I don't know if you can see that or not because on my screen it's just black. So, yeah. Because these people are not addressing any of the safety issues with the police or internally. By ignoring that and refusing to address that, they're putting me at further risk. We're gonna hear this lady beep 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 through me talking. We're gonna hear her try talking over me. We're gonna hear her playing victim and accusing me of yelling at her. How many of these people do this? No, we have taught women to play victim. This woman is absolutely not a victim. She is a predator and she does not deserve her job. This is recorded narcissism. Go to Northwest Senior and disability services over and over again. So I have to turn them into themselves, and they have a position of power which allows them to retaliate, and retaliate they do. And then when a crime is committed against me, I'm supposed to go to these people who have retaliated against me for telling on them. Are you fucking kidding me? And that's the problem with, well, people saying they'll go in with me and procrastinating forever. None of the abuse is taken seriously. Why didn't they bother to try looking at the evidence? And why didn't a friend or family member help me to turn it in right away? Why didn't one of these witnesses help to turn it in right away? The ones on the streets I'd already spoken to. They're willing to in court. Most of them are afraid of the cops, though, or have warrants. And they're recorded saying that on my channel. By the time these guys get around to doing anything, I still don't have a friend or family member that's going to take it seriously. I don't get to go see my own doctors. We'll call Claire Jordan. Hopefully she's all right. At least it's ringing.
Your call has been forwarded to an anonymous messaging
It's
system.
probably full.
Claire Jordan is not available. The mailbox is full and cannot accept any messages at this time. Goodbye.
Problems with mine too. There's important messages in there. End up with a full